An upcoming tractor, truck and vintage car run in Miltown Malbay is not only a celebration of community spirit but also a heartfelt tribute to two much missed locals, John Downs and Tim O'Dwyer. The event is raising funds for the Miltown Moy Defibrillator, and organiser Rachel Downs joins us now to tell us more. Rachel, thanks very much for being with us on the show.
No problem, thanks for having me.
Can you tell us more about the truck and vintage car run and how long, I suppose, plans have been in place?
Yeah, so initially this was set up by my father's friends in 2017 to mark his first year anniversary. So Dad passed away suddenly in 2016, so they did it to commemorate him. So initially it was something with just local people, contractors and things that he worked with. He was a farmer, he drove a cattle lorry, he was a contractor, he was into machinery. So it was a very fitting tribute. So then we continued it on until, I suppose, the COVID years. So we always donated the money locally. So initially it went to the upkeep of the local graveyards, to the Spanish Point Autism Unit. And then for a number of years we went and donated to Sláinte Clár. So then I think COVID years we obviously had a pause. And then in 2023, my brother Niall, who was, heavily involved in organising this, him and his close friend Tim travelled to New Zealand, obviously, like young people, to live the dream, to work out their machinery. And unfortunately, Tim passed away on December 2023 in a road accident. So then in that following year, we decided we'd, commemorate him as well. And we donated funds to the Kevin Bell Trust, which was heavily involved in getting Tim home to his family. So I think we've always kind of just, kept it, in memory and for a good cause. So last year we did it for Sláinte Clár again, and this year we're doing it for the Miltown Moy Defibrillator services, just for the upkeep of, training the first responders, the equipment. So yeah, so it's happening this Sunday anyway.
Okay, and I mean, defibrillator is such an integral piece of equipment to have in a local community. I guess choosing Miltown Moy Defib as the chosen charity was a bit of a no-brainer in a sense. Essentially, because it is the bridge between, a crisis and an ambulance arriving. So, it's crucial, and obviously the more equipment that's available and the more treatment, or the more people that are trained, it makes a huge difference. And, Anne and Mary do huge work with the Miltown Moy Defibrillator. So, anything that we can do to help, and we have online donations, and there's donations on the day. A lot of kids love to come up and see all the tractors and the machinery. So, spectators are more than welcome if you don't want to participate. So, yeah. I mean, for yourselves, seeing an event that I guess grew out of tragedies, is it brilliant to see that out of something terrible, good things are happening and continuing now to happen on an annual basis? Oh, definitely. It's every year it's heartwarming to see the turnout. It has got bigger and bigger, and Easter Sunday is a difficult day. Families are away, they're doing things, but it blows us away, the amount of people that still show up consistently. And we have a lot of people that are coming from other counties and stuff now just to participate. Friends of my brothers, they're all kind of in that industry with machinery, and it's even local businesses and things. It's just brilliant. Yeah, it gets emotional even watching it all, and just knowing that Dad and Tim would probably be very heavily interested in the different machinery and all that. They'd be at the centre of it themselves by the sounds of it, Rachel. Yeah, definitely. My dad definitely be a huge spectator. He was, I think over the years, he was always into, I always just remember it was, there was new tractors or there was new machinery every few years, and he was, continually pouring back into his business. And yeah, it's lovely to see my brother carrying that on now, and yeah, it's fantastic. And how has the run grown over the years? Was there a small number of trucks and vintage cars year one, and now the roads are full of them? It was actually the first kind of get together, we'll say, it was actually the day of Dad's funeral, and I just remember this specifically.
there was a guard of honour as we drove out of Miltown to go, for the burial. And either side of the road was lined with tractors, machinery, trucks as a guard of honour. And I just remember being absolutely blown away by, something so thoughtful but so appropriate for him. So then that next year, that first year on his anniversary, they actually did a tractor run. And, my brothers got to participate and family and friends. And what started, I'd say, probably a small number, maybe 20, 30, has gone and hit well over 100.
Wow, those are impressive.
Yeah.
So you're painting a picture of quite a spectacle when this happens.
Yeah.
Because I imagine that, aside from the number, Rachel, they're all shapes, sizes, colours, lights.
Everything. You have the smallest little tractor, don't ask me names and specifics, but you have your small little tractor to the largest of the newest machinery. You have cattle lorries, but there's trucks, there's vintage cars. It's a bit of everything, and it's actually for anyone who's interested, it's actually just lovely to spectate.
Yeah, sounds like a really, really good thing to either, if not be at the centre of it, to be watching as well. So
yeah.
Is there still time for people to sign up if they are the owner of a truck, a tractor, a vintage car? And if so, how do they do so?
Yeah, so basically we just register on the day. So my sister and I will be taking registrations at the Miltown Church car park. So we like to take off at 3 p.m. sharp. So from 2 p.m. on, you can come and you can park, and, everyone kind of gathers around for a chat and a bit of appreciation of, the vehicles. And if you can't make it, we do have online donations through iDonate that's going directly to the Miltown Moy Defibrillator. And again, look, our names and numbers are on the poster, so anyone can just give us a text. And it's donate whatever you want. There's no specific, anyone taking part is €20, but anything else, any other donations are welcome of any amount.
Okay, brilliant stuff. Well, look, as you mentioned, there's an iDonate page, and I'm sure people can donate on the day and all that kind of a thing as well. And the community will respond as always, no doubt. Rachel, we hope it goes really, really well, and that Miltown Moy Defibrillator are the beneficiaries of a serious sum of money to really help them out. So thank you for joining us to speak about that, and hope it all goes well.
That's great. Thank you.